Walking with Dinosaurs, one of the first pieces of dinosaur media I ever had seen. And it's really good. It's a really good show, and you guys should definitely check it out. There's a free link to a playlist on YouTube. And if you want to know what my first dinosaur documentary was, it was Clash of the Dinosaurs. So anyway, without further ado, let's get on with the review. Episode 1, New Blood, is my least favorite out of the 6 episodes in the series. Now, to be fair, I have nothing against this episode, but just seems like the least appealing to me because there's hardly any dinosaurs. There basically is about the prehistoric mammal-like reptile. There's only one in particular dinosaur, and that's this guy, the Coelophysis. I do really like the Coelophysis. It's pretty cool. It's basically the raptor of this episode, and a horrible piece of dinosaur media stole his pattern design. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't know what I'm talking about the Velociraptor from Dino King. So yeah. But back to this guy. It does a good job at being the basically raptor of this episode, but it's not appealing. Not appealing at all. I mean, to be fair, these were the first stages of the dinosaurs. Next up, we have the Placerius, which are, again, basically the Triceratops of this episode. And they also look like a cow, if the cow was exposed to nuclear radiation. Don't say in the comments that I'm copying off of Sam the Geigen fan. The Cynodont is basically a reptile and a dog combined. And it's cute. That's all I have to say about it. It's just cute and adorable. It's the same thing. And our main predator and overall main dinosaur, or reptile of the show, this episode, Postasnucus. A ginormous female Postasnucus. I do really like the Postasnucus. It is outdated because Postasnucus, as we know, is walked on 2 legs. Again, this episode's my least favorite. It's just the least appealing to me. I have nothing against this episode. But however, Time of the Titans is my second favorite in the series. No joke, this episode is amazing. We follow a herd of sauropods of Diplodocus and end their years adventuring together. If that makes sense at all to you guys. But other dinosaurs we see are the cool and very, very, very dangerous looking Stegosaurus. I do like the Stegosaurus design, however the colors are a little dull. Allosaurus, who probably had my favorite roar from the show. And the Brachiosaurus. And it feels like a good time to bring up the music. Cruelty is a fan favorite to the fans. And I can see why due to this awesome part of the episode, the beginning of the episode. That was amazing. It comes right out of nowhere, and it's one of the few documentaries that I know of that tries to trick the audience into thinking that that was the top predator. But it definitely definitely was not. So, what is our main predator? You just saw it. This episode follows a gigantic Lyporidum, and it's here's the biggest issue that people have with the show. The Lyporidon. It stated to me 150 tons and 25 meters long. That is inaccurate. It probably weighed 2 tons and was going to 5 meters long. But when a storm strikes, a very powerful and dangerous storm, our main Lyporidon becomes food and washing up on shore for the same dinosaur he was attacking earlier, the Eustreptospondylus. Giants of the Sky is probably the saddest in this series, and what makes it sad is, one, this episode actually has a story, and two, the music.
But there is one species that dwarfs them all. He is only...
Like I said earlier, this episode does have a story about this giant male Orthocyrus who wants to attract a mate. He flies all the way from Brazil to North America, all the freaking way to Europe. Yes, Europe. And we have these guys. Iguanodon. Now, here's the thing. These Iguanodon are more like the actual main dinosaur than the Orthocyrus, because we get to see these guys so many times in so many different parts of this episode, and it's just weird. That are basically filler, because we get to see what they eat, who they live with, and who eats them. Their party member is obviously the Polecathus, and their hunters are the Utah raptors. And let me babble on with the biggest complaint of this episode: the Utah raptors in Europe. It has Utah in the name. Utah raptors. And they're in Europe. Why did they do this? I don't know. Maybe it's because that they thought Iguanodon was worldwide, so they thought Utahraptor was the same thing. But definitely not. I will say that the Utahraptors look pretty cool. Their model is used on the Dromaeosaurus in Death of the Dynasty, which reused animation. You can't do that to us. But the Utahraptors here are pretty cool, I will say that. But they're just why are they in Europe? Why are they in Europe? It does not make any sort of scientific sense. And I don't have an answer for it. I really don't have an answer for it. ladies and gentlemen, please ignore what you just saw. Anyways, back to the story. He gets to Europe, and instead of getting what he wants, he gets what he does not want. Death. And this is probably the saddest part of this series. This scene. This one scene. It's a tragic episode, and one that makes you feel bad for an extinct animal, which is hardly realized in any dinosaur documentary. Spirits of the Ice Forest is a very interesting episode. It's almost magical in a way. The music definitely says that in magical.
It is the mid.
Now, this episode, like New Blood, doesn't really have a story, but it is interesting nonetheless. We see a herd of Dryosaur-looking dinosaurs called Yeetanetor. Yeetanetora. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Please correct me in the comments if you can. We also see this giant black salamander like Kulosuchus. We also see a polar allosaurus, also known as a yeetanetor, which is what it's actually called. It was mistaken for an allosaurus, and a ginormous herd of gigantic Metabarosaurus with trumpet-sounding noses. The last episode, Death of a Dynasty, is obviously, as it says in the title, the extinction of the dinosaurs. And this episode is my personal favorite out of the 6. This episode has a really, really, really sickening feeling. Like, as it states, life on Earth is choking to death, and I kind of like that, honestly. I'm weirder at times. So, I do think this is probably the best episode out of the 6. But it does have some problems that people say. And the first problem is the T-Rex design. The T-Rex, I can agree, its head does look a bit strange. But what makes it succeed are the colors. Oh my god, the colors are glorious! But I can't agree, it does look a little strange. Other dinosaurs include the Torosaurus, which is the closest thing in this documentary to a Triceratops, which is sad. The Ankylosaurus, which legitimately kills the T-Rex, and that is not a joke. And the Dromaeosaurus. Don't judge how I say it. And also, its model is just a tiny repainted version of the Utahraptor. Another problem that people have with the show, the extinction scene. I think it's really good. It's basically from a dinosaur's eye view. And people say that this is the worst thing from this episode and the worst thing from the series. I think it's really good. That's just my opinion. And don't hate me in the comments. And also, this is pretty sad. The music from Giants in the Sky really helps it be sad. And this ending, yes, it's a sad episode. It's sad to see our favorite dinosaurs go after 6 really good episodes. But hey, at least this episode doesn't end on a downward note. Because it says that the dinosaurs were replaced by our favorite mammals, lions, tigers, zebras, elephants, giraffes. And it also states that we walk with dinosaurs the whole time of today. The birds, which is actually really cool. Although I can explain something in a future video of how I feel about I don't believe in it of evolution. Don't hate me in the comments. And that was Walking with Dinosaurs. A really good show. The CGI and animatronics have the equivalence of Jurassic Park. And it's crazy. The, the entire series is great. The dinosaur choices are amazing. Some of the dinosaur choices from New Blood and Spirits of the Ice Forest, something that they other dinosaur documentaries have not dealt well on. And that's basically it. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Toodaloo!